Yeah,
Hello, sir. How are you?
fine. How are you, madam?
I'm fine. Thank you so much for taking your time. Just a few minutes, we'll start the sessions.
Okay.
And volume is little low, sir. Please,
Can you hear me now?
it's a little
Is it
bit,
okay? Is it okay?
still little bit.
Hello, hello. Can you
Still,
hear me?
can you check your this one, sir? Volume in your computer or something?
Yeah, I will. No, I'm good. I have a good network. Can you hear me?
Yeah, better.
Okay.
You're in Chennai or in Rameshwaram?
I am in Rameswaram, madam.
Oh, yeah. Now it's audible.
Yeah, thanks.
It's too
You
good.
can see behind me the books read by Dr. Kalam.
Yeah. Sir, it's a real, what to say, I don't know how to tell. I'm feeling so excited
Yeah,
and really fortunate enough that we could meet today.
honor.
Because I know how busy you are.
Yeah.
Today, especially, everybody will be seeking you.
No, we ourselves are doing conducting, uh, hour by hour program from morning 8 o'clock.
Uh,
So since you requested, I pushed my brother into that. I just came for.
so nice of you. So nice of you. Really, I'm fortunate. That's all I can say. I was
ஒரு
just.
செகண்ட் நான் ஜஸ்ட் வந்துடுறேன் ஜஸ்ட் ஐ ஜஸ்ட் கம்
Okay.
I'll be back in a second.
Okay. Shall we start, sir?
Yeah, please.
A very good evening to all the participants. We are very fortunate to have with us Mr. Sheikh, and I would like him to introduce himself because I don't have words. He's a such a fortunate person. God has given him such a fortunate birth. Actually, we don't decide our birth. It's all decided by the God where we should be born, which country, which continent, or which religion, or to which parents. Nothing is in our hands. And you are really fortunate and blessed to be born in a family with so much of good-hearted human uh, kind of people. That is what I would like to insist more and more, because knowledge is everywhere, money is everywhere, but I don't find the fulfillment if you are not a human. So you're very fortunate to be a close associate of to see every day to day life. You can see that person a great human being. The entire world is celebrating. Entire world has him in their minds. So he is a person who has a place in everybody's heart, irrespective of the country. So such a great opportunity you have got, and we from Seek and also the participants have got an opportunity to meet you today, where we are very eager to know a lot of things which the world may not know. So your close associations, what you have learned from him, and how was your journey with him? How was your family attachment with him, emotional connect, and what you have learned from him? Please, sir.
So my name is APJ MJ Sheikh Dawood. I am grandson of Dr. Kalam's elder brother. So I live in Chennai. Due to this pandemic situation, I had moved to Rameswaram. So I had come here March 19th, the day before the close down was announced. I had come for on a short vacation. I didn't know this is what is going to happen. So, but unfortunately, or fortunately, I had to stay back at Rameswaram and continue my work. I'm a software professional. I got more than 20 years of experience in software development and delivery. I still continue to do that my work. Uh, Apart from that, I'm a managing trustee and co-founder of APJ Abdul Kalam International Foundation. There we promote whatever Dr. Kalam was doing, like connecting with schools and colleges, talking about a developed country as a concept and how each individual can contribute for nation development. That's a main theme for our foundation. So these are the words about me. And so to start with, it is 27th July. Every year comes 5 years past now. I couldn't believe that Dr. Kalam is gone. We are the fifth year. Uh, I just recollect the day when I heard the news that no, it's not, so it's no more. Uh, Very difficult because uh, I am a very fortunate person that every day I used to talk to him in the night, 11 o'clock or afternoon, 3 o'clock. Uh, it's a random call, so whenever he thinks, he calls me. Not only me, he calls all other grandchildren. There are so many grandchildren. I'm one of them. So it is very painful situation 5 years ago. Like Dr. Kalam was passed away, but we moved ahead, and we are moving ahead, and they've done a lot of work. Whatever Dr. Kalam thought about it. Couple of experience let me share. So uh, many people have seen him as very knowledgeable person. The country, any country would want to have him as a president, right? So president of India is the highest post in our country. So how the president will think about a fellow countrymen. So that is what is all about it. Very important. So when he became a president, uh, he actually called all of his staffs. He called the day he became a president, and he told them one thing that he should be given access to the common man. No, it should not be a very only politician or VIP should meet him. Every individual who wants to meet him, they should come inside the Rashtrapati Bhavan. So that is the first instruction given to his staffs. So now you can think about it how why he is called as people president. So uh, so he when he became a president, uh, one thing he wanted, why he wanted to become a president. So when political parties in India, they were actually pushing his name 2002. um, he wanted to make sure that we have been talking about country's progress, but there was no progress at all. This is again year of 2000 and 2001 and 2002, and you want to take up this concept and communicate to the students and young side of India, saying that India should not be like like we are 100 crore people and we have all the knowledge, and still our society is very big, and we can become a developed nation. So that message he want to convey to the younger generation. That is the reason he took up that job. So there are interesting facts about Dr. Kalam. So what I learned from him, he was a lifelong learner. So that is very very important. I could see your background. You put up some books library, so you can see behind me. There are so many books. So these books read by Dr. Kalam. So we have got it from 10 Rajaji Mark after he passed away. We are actually keeping it here. So I'm very fortunate and my family is fortunate to read the books for Dr. Kalam read. He had read 5,000 books in his lifetime. Okay. Uh, and whenever we visit Rashtrapati Bhavan or Rajaji Mark, I used to see him anytime in the morning time or afternoon, night. He will have a book to read. So he said, you should have a good friend, one good friend. That friend should tell you that what you are doing right or wrong. He will not blindly support you, that friend. Okay. He has to have a courage to say that no, you are doing wrong things. And you should have a book. That book should guide you in your life, how no you communicate your world and society. So he did not even read one book. So imagine 5,000 book he read about it. And so I asked him, how do you, because you are a bachelor, you are not married, and in a funny way, I asked him, I'm a family man. I got my wife and son, and I like to spend my family time with them, and I can't read like you. He said, if the person is not reading, he's not growing. He said, so you should have a in weekly schedule. You should have at least 5 to 6 hours reading time. So this is very interesting aspect in terms of my growth. It's not only reading about leaders, not only reading about any funny stories, or it is all about your self development. How you take up something if you are not good at it, like public speaking or writing, or something in your career, you can still read at any age. Imagine 83-year-old man was reading about supercomputer and you know you know uh, bio weapons, all kind of stuff. He was one of the highest regarded in terms of knowledgeable person was available. Any aspect in terms of space science or satellites or rockets or defense, to consult with him. After he retired 2007, okay, he was with us till 2015, right? So any prime minister or president who goes to their place, whatever consultation they want to do, their first name will be Dr. Kalam. That is only because of his continuous learning and continuous learnings. That is what he said. So that was a very good inspiration. I took it from him. Then I have seen in my life so many celebrities, okay, cinema stars, celebrities, uh, writers, TV stars, mega stars. Uh, if you really want to take a photograph with them, okay, I'm talking about the other celebrities. Uh, everybody is a human being, right? They will have a mood. They may be happy, sometimes sad, sometimes some disturbance will be there. You can't take a photograph with a celebrity all the time. It is all about how what kind of mood they are in. But I never seen an occasion like Dr. Kalam irritated saying they don't take a photograph with me. Uh, this is something as I was wondering. So one of the occasion I asked him. This is a he used to come to Rameswaram very often, and one kid actually, very poor kid, he was standing there, and he didn't even have a paper to get the signature. That kid just showed his eye and so hand. Okay. He was just putting his hand and asking him to write his, put a autograph. He didn't even say anything. He was happily writing, putting his autograph. I asked him. He said, "See, these guys are beginning of his life. You should not disappoint the children, because you should not disappoint the children when they are in very very early age. So that is what, when you encourage them, they will have a lot of things they will aspire for. So that is the reason I put my autograph in his hand. We never know, he will go and he'll wash his hand, but that happiness, that moment of happiness, he will have it on his lifetime. He will happily and go and tell, no, I got an autograph from Dr. Kalam in my hand. So there's one more occasion, he was about to leave from home. We may not see a lot of police personnel come forward and taking photograph with any celebrity. Their job is to protect them, right? So they will only protect like prime minister, president, they will not ready to go and ask for, sir, can I take a photograph with you? Now with Kalam, it's a different experience. Whatever program, wherever he goes, all police people go and ask him, sir, can I take a photograph? So one of the incident, DGP of the town, he came and said, sir, I want to take a photograph. So two incidents. One is a poor children and he's taking a photograph. And another one is a DGP of the town. He's taking So for him, everybody is same. Is a child or relative or a VIP, prime minister. So he has that attitude. So that is a very exciting thing. And when I asked him, he always have a calm sense. Like when you see him, he'll be very quiet and calm. So as a human being, you'll have a situation to get irritated, right? So to get some kind of pain, you'll have some kind of mood upset. That's a human behavior. You can't say no. I never had that experience, right? You will not say that, because if you are going to say that, then you should be something. You will be doing, you are what I say, yogi. If you are practicing yogi or something, then you'll say no. I have only compassion experience. Now, I found that Dr. Kalam always has that experience, love, gratitude, uh, that's humor, uh, compassion. So he was talking about how to forgive people. That compassion is coming from there. I asked him, in your lifetime, you never get angry with anybody. That's the question I wanted to ask him. So he said, oh, anger is very difficult to manage, uh, but you have to understand other people situation. So this is what we're talking about. The compassion is like when I and you talking about something, and I have a misunderstanding about you. How I feel it, I will always stand from my point of view, that I will not think about you, why you are saying something like that. Then I get anger, then I get upset with you. But Kalam was different. He always think about other side of the person, why he is behaving like that, why his behavior is like, why he is upset. So that way you can understand a fellow human being. So you will never have the anger or anything. So
Yes, you can continue.
so so that was a very interesting insight from him I learned. Uh, and another thing is, you can become anything in your life as long as you hold that fire vision, like aim, and continuously acquire knowledge for something, and then hard work. And sometimes you meet failures and come across the failure, you'll eventually, whatever is destiny is given for your life, you will achieve. So that was a lesson taught by Dr. Kalam, and that still I hold that points with me. uh, I have a very unique experience with them. Like when you talk to your grandfather, your elder people, uh, they will show you affection, love, like how are you and what are you doing, how is your health and all. So this grandfather, Dr. Kalam, was different, and he will be asking you a question: what is the new thing you learned today? So what is the productive work you did? So it was very challenging for me to come up with something to tell him that every day that I did this, I did that. It is very difficult. So whenever I don't want to tell him all the times something wrong. I tell him to, I have not done anything new today. I'm doing whatever I was doing yesterday. So he said, you have to ask this question: how do you improve yourself? So he said, what I have done yesterday, what I am going to do today, something different, something unique. That is what is going to take me tomorrow. If I've been doing it something for over the years, 20 years, the same work, the same thinking, same concept, then I will not be progressing it. So this was the concept actually he taught me. A reason is, I have seen him during 90s, where we never had internet access. We had only TV sets. I think you are also the same age group, we have come from that one Doordarshan TV, and from there you move on to other private channels, all this stuff, internet era. When we started internet, I have seen him that. So I had seen him taking notes in the papers and reading from the books. I have also seen him doing a lot of teleconferences, not now, not in pandemic, teleconferences, video conferences during 2006-5. Okay, there was one incident I had. I was gone to Carnegie Mellon University for some educational work. I was short summer work. I had gone there in 2004. I was there. So there was a conference conducted from India. President Kalam was speaking. This was again 2004, not 2020. 14 years ago, he was able to do that. So he was such a visionary on adaptation of the technology and new things to learn. So that is very important to any youngsters or any middle-aged men or women. If you stop learning, if you stop adopting things, then it will be very difficult to manage. So you can, whatever I'm talking, you can think as a human being, how he was, as a technology, how he was reacting, as a father, grandfather, how his things and knowledge was. So any point of time, India wanted to check when he was alive, like maybe any government, Congress or BJP or any government. I think my internet is unstable. Please bear with me.
Yeah.
Hope you are able to get me. So government always rely on his inputs. It may be atomic energy or China. If you have been alive, okay, he was the first person to be called and discuss about it, how to manage the situation. So he had that knowledge. He was consulting government of India after his retirement also. So always think about your country, always service to the nation. It is not one day or 1 hour, it is a 1 week or 20 years job. It is your lifelong service to nation. Always think, what can I serve through this? So again, there is one more point. Recent past, or maybe 20, 25 years, we are all practicing a lifestyle like what I can gain in this life, what I can earn for myself, what I can, get other things, get things from you or my father or my sister or this society or college, my professor or my company, what I can gain so that I live in a good life. He was talking about the other way, what I can give back to the society, what I can contribute to the nation, what I can contribute to the particular situation. If you go on explaining there is some abnormal situation, he will not make it complex. He will make it very calm and smooth, and he'll make sure that you are comfortable after that. So that is the lifestyle. When somebody comes to you and they talk about the problem, and I have seen so many times, and people make it complex, right? So they will take advantage of that, and they start giving their ideas and opinions how we should handle it. He never ever done it. So he will make sure that person actually get to the point, and he says in life you have to go through all kind of situations. So that kind of experience I had. So this is what I want to talk about, Dr. Kalam. If you have any specific question, I'm ready to answer.
How can we question? Actually, we are all floating. Actually, I feel so blessed. I thank God that I've been born in an era where I have lived, where such a great human has also lived, rather than studying from a textbook like someone else lived in some century. We have been living together. Like he was also living with the same era. And as you said, I've been admiring him for a few things. Like as you said, he was so empathetic, and he was having so much of emotional intelligence and seeing the world through some other's eyes, and he was feeling the emotions through some other's heart. So that is what all the time he used to think, not the self growth but the organization's growth. Always he has been a pillar of an organization wherever he was, right from a normal company to the country. What I can do. So that hunger was there, that yes, I should do something, I should contribute something. So definitely he's a very different person, and God's unique creation. where everybody loves him. That is because of being an administrator, you cannot expect everybody to like you. On several grounds, people will have some enmity or some things will be there. But in his case, every individual, every single human being, entire world respects him. I feel that is mainly because of being human, and the down to earth feeling. As you said, he when he was giving an autograph for a small child, he don't want to break the belief of that child. That was the greatest thing, because we call all the people who are having more money as richest people, but I feel they are the most poorest if they have only money. And being human, now he is got such a huge place in everybody's heart. So that is not out of his richness or the power or whatever it is. It's because of he maintained himself as a good human, as how he was blessed by the Almighty. So I always feel that if somebody is beautiful, it is God's beautiful creation. But if you live a life beautifully, that is the gift what we give to God. So that is what he has established and also made as an example for every one of us. Like, live your life not in a selfish manner. Live your life and make everyone live along with you with the same happiness, and try to share whatever knowledge you have. Try to share whatever you have. You have not brought anything with us. All those Gita Upadesam and all, he has lived. Just as a person, he's a big encyclopedia. You can just learn a lot. And that smile, sweet smile, ever smiling face, like a kid, whatever maybe his age, we could see a kid in his face and his body language. When you see a child, the way he talked to the child, the way he encourages the child to ask questions to him, that's amazing, really. As you said, amazing. And we are very fortunate to listen to all these things from you. That you had the opportunity to talk to him every day, learn a lot from him every day. You're sitting in his room there. So we all pay a lot of respects to Dr. APJ through you. And we would strive to follow whatever he has told, because that is what is the real, devotion, or the tribute what we can give him, not by saying but following, because they're all simple, and they are very take you to greater heights, not only in your position but as a human. You will be respected by everybody. If you could follow all those messages what he had given, no, especially the dreams. So those things, quotes and all, many places we see, like it will not make you to sleep. That is really true. And thank you so much. I know how busy you are. I'm really fortunate to get this half an hour slot of yours, and I'm really blessed. I'm really blessed, and all my participants are blessed to have you here and share with a smiling face as ever, like your grandfather. And all.
My greetings to all your viewers.
Yeah, today we are inaugurating the faculty development program, and I want you to just wish them few words on the faculty development program. What today is the first session. It's about technology and emerging innovations. Yeah.
So my wishes to you all, and your career development, your faculty development, and I pray God, you learn good things and you come up in your life and you apply whatever you learn. So today we are living in an era where knowledge is great. So knowledge, you have more knowledge, you have more skill, you are valuable. So that is what is a mantra today. More knowledgeable, more skillable. So the skill will come only from learning. So don't stop learning at any form. Maybe you can learn from books or learn from audio tabs or video tabs or your counselors or any programs. But keep learning and improve your skills. You will become a very interesting person. So I wish them all the best.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for your time, and God bless you. And you can also keep telling your experiences in your quotes, in your postings, so that we
Yeah,
will feel that we are getting it from a good person who have learned from a great
yeah,
person.
yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
I request the participants to mute their mics, please. So good evening, all the participants. Today we are in the first day of our national level faculty development program. Is my screen visible? So today we are going to have the first speaker, and she is Dr. N.S. Bhuvaneshwari, and she has received her BE in Electronics and Instrumentation from Annamalai University, and MS Research from MIT Anna University, and a PhD from Anna University. Participants, can you please turn off your mic? And she has around 29 years of teaching experience in various engineering colleges. I request the participants to mute their mic, please. Thank you. And she is now a principal of GKM College of Engineering and Technology, Chennai. And to her credit, she has a lot of awards. She was the Best Woman Engineering College Teacher National Award from ISTE for the year 2013. And she has received the Best Woman Engineering College Teacher National Award from IET for the year 2014. And also she has teaching awards in engineering by Stafford Higher University, UK, and Education Matters in the year 2015. And she has published some patents, and that is the detail here: instrument for determination of water content in aviation turbine fuel and wireless communication embedded safety helmet. And also she has received so many grants from so many funding agencies during her tenure. And she was a journal reviewer in many journals, and also she has professional memberships in ISTE, IET, IEEE, etc. And she has been guiding many PhD students, and she has guided and awarded 4 PhD graduates, and she is in progress of guiding 3 people. And she has 30 publications in national and international journals. And also I'm very happy and proud to say that she is my classmate. We both studied in BE Electronics and Instrumentation from Annamalai University together. And I would like to welcome Dr. Bhuvaneshwari and take over the session. Thank you. Bhuvaneshwari, you can share your screen.
Thank you, Dr. Usha, for the introduction. It was nice. I'm very happy that. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible. You can share your screen.
Yes. I'm very happy that my classmate is organizing 5 days FDP involving all our classmates, especially ladies. I thank the credit goes to Dr. Usha. I am very happy that I am given opportunity in this FDP. Thank you, Dr. Usha. My topic given is recent trends in artificial neural networks. Because it is recent trends, if I go directly to the recent trends, for few participants, it may not be understandable. So I will go through the existing artificial neural networks, and then I will go to recent trends. Then only it will be understandable. These are the contents I am going through this way. First, artificial intelligence. Here afterwards, it will be called as AI. Then AI architectures, AI learning types, artificial neural networks then comes. Here afterwards, it will be called as ANN. then simple application using ANN, character recognition. Then we will see what are the drawbacks with the existing neural network. That is called a shallow neural network. The recent trend is deep neural network. So we will see the drawback with the shallow neural network, and then what is the need for going for deep neural network. This is the recent trend in artificial neural network. Then we will discuss about deep learning concept, and then application using deep learning. So in this way I am going to go. First, when we see the definition of artificial intelligence, we know that from the name itself we can infer that the intelligence is artificially introduced into the computer machine. Human is learning from environment automatically. Human has learned many things from the environment. So whatever human learned, we are going to incorporate the human thinking into the computer machine. Human day by day, human is learning many things from the environment. So these human experience, all the inputs and outputs, all the human experiences now incorporated into the human computer machine. Then once it is incorporated, the computer will mimic the human thinking. Then we can call it as artificial intelligence. Computer can, like a human thinking, computer can give solution for any problem. So there is a so this name comes artificial intelligence. Intelligence is artificially incorporated into the computer machine. And before going to the architectures, I want to discuss how human being is learning from the environment. Then only we can do the same learning process to the computer machine. The human being is learning with the two simple, very simple example. I want to discuss how human being is learning from the environment. For example, if a person is seeing a ball on the floor, immediately the person is taking the bat and hitting the ball. So how it is happening? Because previously he has seen many times, many people have done like this. So that experience, that knowledge is stored in the neural networks, biological, the human body neural networks. I will tell if the ball is seen by the human being, the ball, there is eye is sensing the ball. So from the eyes to the brain, the neurons are activated. Then from the brain to the hand, the neurons are activated. So automatically the ball is hit by the bat. So how it is happening here learning? Ball is at the input side and the bat is at the output side. In between, biological neural network plays major role. So through eyes, the input is going through eyes. So eyes are sensors here. It is sensing the ball. And then from the eyes to the brain, neurons are activated. Then from brain giving command, through from the brain to the hand, all the neurons are activated. Automatically, hand is taking the bat and hitting the ball. So in this way, input and outputs are available. In between, the biological neural network is present. The knowledge is stored in the stored as voltage in the synaptic junction present in the neural network. That is, our human body consists of billions of neurons. All the neurons are interconnected, highly complex. So between the interconnection, synaptic junction is present. So in the synaptic junction, voltages are stored. So whenever ball and bats are there, the voltages are whenever ball is seen by the person, the voltages are reproduced. So those neurons are fired automatically. Bat is taken by the hand and I hit the ball. So in this way, this is one example. Another example, only layman example I am giving. Another example, if a sweet is present in front of a person, the sweet smell, the smell is sensed by our nose. So from the nose to the brain, neurons are activated, and from the brain, the hands, the neurons are activated to take the sweet and eat that, to eat it. So here we can see input is sweet, output is hand operation. So in between biological neuron from the nose to the hand through brain is present. So always we have input output data set in between biological neural network. In this way, the human being is learning from the environment and the knowledge is stored in the form of voltages in the various junction of the neural networks joining. So in the same way, we are making the computer to learn the same type of learning we are doing in the computer. So in the computer, it will not sense inputs. Inputs. Here we are sensing. Human being is able to sense all the inputs through nose or through eyes or through ears. Human being is able to sense the inputs, various inputs. But for the computer, we need to feed the inputs. So inputs and outputs are presented to the computer machine, and then in between we incorporate artificial neural network. Whatever our biological neural network is doing the job, the artificial neural network we are going to make to learn the certain input output. So in the artificial neural network, if we feed the bot, output should be a bat. In that way, the artificial neural network should learn. So once it is, so the learning is done by training the neural network. I'm not going into deep, only a simple concept I am giving. So neural network is here in the biological neural network, how voltages are reproduced whenever inputs are sensed. There, the similar parameters are weights are sensed. Weights are adjusted during the training of the neural network. Weights are adjusted. Weights are the parameters in the artificial neural network, variables in the neural net, artificial neural network. So in the computer machine, we feed input-output data, and an artificial neural network is written as a program in the computer machine. And that is, we formulate artificial neural network, and the inputs and outputs are fed to the artificial neural network, and then we apply the input a ball, and then the weights in the neural networks are being adjusted until we get a bat. How bat is the output. So whenever ball is presented using the weights, the output is calculated. If the output is bad, then we can say the neural network this network is learned this input and output pattern. Similarly, we can map any input output patterns. Whatever human being learned, all the input output patterns can be given to the computer machine. We can train the neural network in the computer machine. In this way, the same way how human being is learning, the same way we are making the computer machine to learn using the artificial neural network. So because of that only, artificial neural network is coming in the artificial intelligence. So in the artificial neural network, we have inputs and outputs in between the network, artificial neural network. In the biological neural networks are connected in the parallel, complex manner. All the neurons are interconnected. In the artificial neural network, based on our application, we can connect the artificial neurons in any way. So based on the connections, we are having the structures. So next slide will tell you the structures, how the network is between the neurons, among the neurons, how about the connections. Based on that, we have broader classifications of architecture. This is single layer architecture, single layer network. So from X1 to Xn, there are n input units represented by X1 to Xn. There are M output units represented from Y1 to Ym. So in between we have weights are the variables. Inputs are applied. Inputs are applied to the input layer. Outputs are obtained from the output layer. So once inputs are applied, various inputs are applied. Using the weights, the calculations are there. So I'm not going to the calculations part and all. Inputs are applied, and using the calculation will use the weights. Using the weight, neural network will calculate the output. If the output is equal to target output, then we can say the network is learned the input output presented to the network. Suppose if I am giving ball as an input, ball as such cannot be given. We have to convert it into numbers, and then only we have to feed. So if the ball is given, bat should be the output target. Like that, we are training the neural network. So during the training, weights are adjusted in such a way where there is the output is equal to the target. So we can feed any number of input output patterns to learn the input output mapping. We can feed any number of input output patterns, and we can train the neural network. So this is a single layer. Why it is called a single layer means the input neurons do not have any functions. Just it receives the input alone. Whereas the output layer has m number of neurons is doing the neuron operation. When there is in the architecture, whichever neuron we take, it is doing the biological neuron operation. Whatever our biological neuron is doing the operation, the same operation is done here in the artificial neural network also. That neuron operation is done here. So in the output layer, the m number of output units are doing the neuron operation. So only this layer is called as a layer. So this is a single layer network. This input layer is not called as a layer because it is not doing the neuron operation. So for some applications, this structure can be used. And next one is a multi-layer network. Here we have more than one layer. Apart from input layer, we have in between input and output layer, we have one more layer called as hidden layer. So in the hidden layer also, each neuron is doing the neuron operation. In the output layer also, output nodes are doing the neuron operation. So more than one layer is called as a multi-layer network. So this is for some applications, this architecture may be used. And one more network, a recurrent network. Here, input layer, hidden layer, output layer, there is a feedback from the output layer to the hidden layer. So for some applications, this network may be used. So the broad classification of network arrangement is single layer, multi-layer and recurrent network. So we have seen the artificial neural network structures, various architectures, inputs, outputs, and artificial neural network, various structures we have seen. Then all are available. Then we have to make neural network to learn the input-output mapping, given input-output mapping. So this learning may be done by three major methods. So first method is called as supervised learning. So we are now, so before going to learning types, I will see the biological neuron operation and artificial neuron operation are same. In the biological neuron in our body, there are billions of biological neurons are present. So here the whatever operation done in the biological neuron, the same operation is done in the artificial neuron. So here the biological neuron consists of a cell body and the inputs come through the dendrites. So all the inputs are accumulated in the cell body. Once the summed up input value is more than the threshold value, the output is the neuron is fired. The output will come through the output called as axon. So here it is summed up values compared to the threshold value. So the neuron will be fired. Otherwise, it will be unfired. There will be no output from the biological neuron. In the same way, the artificial neuron operation is also defined. Here inputs come through the dendrites. Here in the artificial neuron, we know that all the neurons are interconnected. So before dendrite, there will be another axon of the other neurons. So axon of the other neuron. So in the axon of the previous neuron and the dendrite of this neuron because interconnected. So in this junction, the voltage is modified. So here, so when we simulate this feature, the modified input goes here. So that modification is done by multiplying by weight. So here multiplied by weight. So weighted inputs. So weighted inputs going to the artificial neuron, and all the weighted inputs are summed up, and this summed up value is subjected to the activation function. Here we use threshold function always. In the biological neuron, only threshold function activity is being carried out. But in this artificial neuron, depending on our application, any function can be used. So here this subjected to activation function, then output comes from the neuron. So from this I can say the artificial neural network consists of many neurons, and each neuron is performing the biological neuron operation. That is what I want to tell in this slide. Next, coming to the learning. So inputs, outputs are presented to the artificial neural network. Already we have defined the network architecture structure. Then we have to make the neural network to learn the input-output mapping. So learning is classified into three major types. First one is the supervised learning. In the supervised learning, there is supervised, unsupervised, and the reinforcement learning. So in the supervised learning, the inputs and outputs are presented to the artificial neural network. So inputs here you can see the inputs are apple. So the neural network should tell output is apple. If the inputs are banana, neural network should tell banana. The inputs are mangoes, the neural network output should be mango. In this way, the inputs and outputs both are presented to the artificial neural network and the network is trained. This is called supervised learning. Both inputs and outputs are available to the network and then neural network is trained. This is called supervised learning. And the next one, unsupervised learning. In the unsupervised learning, only inputs are presented to the artificial neural network, no output given to the network. But this is trained in the artificial neural network is trained in such a way the inputs are classified. So for the classification purpose, this learning is being used. So you can see this inputs applied to the artificial neural network. So neural network is trained in such a way it is classifying the inputs. So it is used as a classifier. And the next learning is the reinforcement learning. So in the reinforcement learning, the output of the neural network is that is given to the environment, and the environment is telling the feedback. For example, this is the house cat. This house cat, it is in the sitting posture. Now we are telling the cat to walk. So immediately if it is telling walk, the target is we have to make the cat to walk. So if it is walking, target is reached. We will give a fish to the walk. That is some type of reward is given to the network. So otherwise we will punish. So depending upon the output, either we will reward or punish the network. Similarly, one more example. There is a person. There are two paths, waterway and a fireway. So the person should choose the optimal path. So if it is selecting the water path, he will be rewarded. But instead of that, if he is selecting the fire path, he is punished, minus 50 points. So next time he will not go in this path. So for this is a small layman example for reinforcement learning. For my MSc research work, I have used for my problem, I have used reinforcement learning. There I measured the feedback parameter is error. So each and every instant I measure the error. If the error is going in the decreasing direction, I will reward the network. I will tell the network to this weight updation should be in the same direction. Otherwise, if the error is increasing, I will punish the network not to go in that direction. Like that. So there is a performance measure available. Based on the performance measure value, the network is punished or rewarded. So this is called as reinforcement learning. So the learning of the network is done by these three methods. Next, one simple example I have taken, character recognition. How the neural network is here, how the neural network is going to learn these characters and how to recognize. So the input patterns I have taken, there are 10 input alphabets from A to J I have taken. So these are the inputs going to be fed into the artificial neural network. So directly we cannot give the letters, we have to convert into numbers. So the patterns are now converted into numbers. So now the A for the alphabet A, I am converting into numbers. For that purpose, I am using grid partition method. So in the grid partition method, wherever the piece of A comes, it is taken as 1. Other portions are taken as 0. So in this way, I can convert the letter A into numbers. So these numbers can be fed into artificial neural network. Like that, I convert all the letters, 10 letters into numbers. Then it can be used as input patterns for the artificial neural network. So this is the network I used. So here you can see there are 54, 9 by 6 matrix. So there are 54 numbers. A is converted into 54 numbers. So in the artificial neural network, there are 54 input nodes. So that these numbers are fed into input layer of the artificial neural network considered, and the output should be A. If I present these inputs, the output should be A. We cannot give the letter A as such, we have to give some representation. So I have taken 0.1 for A. So I can assume 0.1 for A. So if I present these inputs, I have to get 0.1. So in this way, I am training I am adjusting the weights of the neural network. That is called training the neural network. So once training is over, that means if I give these inputs using the weight, I will get zero point 0.1. If the output is 0.1 means the given letter is A. Similarly, next B letter. For B letter, this is the representation. So this B input is given. B pattern is given as the input. When B pattern is given, I have taken zero point 0.2 for B. So the weights ended with A training. So we are starting from that. So when B pattern is given, with that weight, output will be calculated. If the output is 0.2, it will be good. For both A and B, same weights are optimum. Suppose if the weights are different, we are adjusting the weights until we get 0.2. But once we adjusted the weight, it may not suit A for A also, for A. So here what we are finding is, we are finding the optimum set of weight vector to map all the input outputs. There are 10 letters taken here. So we are finding the optimum set of weight to map all the input and outputs. Once optimum set of weights are found in the network, if I feed A, I will get A, 0.1. If I feed B, using the same weight vector, I will get B. If I feed A, C, I will get a C. So the training means we are adjusting the weight so that to get optimum set of weight to map all the inputs and outputs. So in this way, the character is recognized. Whatever letter given, it is able to recognize it. Once it is trained, if I use slight style of A, that is during the training, I have given the normal A style. But when I test the network, I am giving slightly slanting, one side slanting A. So it is able to give correctly the letter A, because when I give this A to the trained neural network, it is able to give almost nearby 0.1 it is giving. So it is able to recognize A. Similarly, the different style of B is fed to the trained neural network, it is able to identify it is B, because output I will get approximately around 0.2. So similarly for all these, after the training, this is a trained neural network. If I give style change in the letters, it is able to recognize it. We human being, all the styles of letters we are able to recognize. Similarly, trained neural network also able to recognize all the styles of letters once it is trained. So this is a simple character recognition using artificial neural network. So here one thing we have to do is we have to convert the alphabet into numbers, and then only we have to feed the input. So that is the main thing here. Similarly, for there is four. During the training, normal four letter was trained, but it's during the testing slightly changed the style given, but it is able to recognize this four. Trained neural network is able to give four, and that is about character recognition. Next, pattern recognition. So in the pattern, it is of 3D image. In the previous example, directly we grid the partition and we took numbers, converted into numbers. But here it is pattern recognition example. So here image of the problem is there are two types of fishes given. We have to categorize the fishes. There are many fishes, but all the fishes are only coming under only two category. But you can see by visually seeing, we can easily categorize. You can say, but if there are many types and many fishes are available, if you give it to computer vision, easily it will categorize. Because for example, I have taken only two types. Practically, if you have many types and many fishes are there, it will take very large time. So for that purpose, this pattern for the pattern recognition, artificial neural networks are going to be used. So here the procedure is, first we take the image of the fishes. Because before feeding the input into the neural network, we have to convert it to numbers. So from the image, so image is taken. From the image, manually we are measuring parameters. So the first image is taken. The image may contain some unwanted component. So the unwanted components like noise, other components are removed. So in the first phase, we have to pre-process the data taken from the image. And pre-processing noises, other components, unwanted components are removed. and then the segments are done, and then we are measuring the features from the fish, like length, width, weight, brightness. So we are measuring some features from the fish, two fishes. So after measuring the features, once measuring features are measured, so these are the features measured taken from the fishes: length, weight, width, number and shape of the fins, position of the mouth. These are the various features extracted from the image of the fish. So once these features are given, so now from the image we converted into numbers. These are manually measured. So you have to remember this point, manually measured, because of this drawback only we are going for deep learning, which is the recent trend in artificial neural networks. These are manually measured from the image. So after manually measured, these features are given to the neural network. So suppose, for example, for type 1 fish, length, weight, width, and shapes are given. Here I am taking, if the type 1 fish parameters are given, I may take it should give type 1. So I may assume this should come as 1 and the fish 2 should be 0. So I can, if type 1 is given, target I may assume 1 and 0. If type 2 fish parameters are given, I may assume 0 and 1. Like this, type 1, type 2 parameters are given, that neural network is trained. Once the neural network is trained, neural network training means updating the weight vector. So once the neural network is trained, it has learned two patterns, two fishes patterns. So once the training is over, if I give the fish 1 parameters, it will give 1 comma 0. 1 and 0 means it is of fish 1. It is giving fish 1. If I give fish 2 parameters, it will give 0 and 1 fish 2. And if any other fish of type 1 having length different and the weight, width and shape are same, even though length is different, it is able to categorize it is a fish 1. So it is called generalization capability. Similarly, in the fish 2 also, if some parameter is changed and it is given, it is able to categorize it is a fish 2. Like this, the classification is done in the neural network. Pattern is recognized by the neural network, but we are measuring manually the features of the fish. That is a drawback you should remember when we come to the recent deep neural network. Next, example 2, there are 4 fruits of same shapes. So because here shapes, so shapes are same, so it is somewhat difficult to categorize. Only colors are different, and we are taking the image. I told you, we have to convert into numbers before feeding into the neural network training. So those colors. So the image is taken, color image is taken, then a grayscale image is taken, and some a bar representation is taken. These 3 images are now converted into numbers, converted into features, and then it is fed to the neural network. This is one type of training. And then another type of training, 102, you can see 102 into 150. You can see the neural network use because it is somewhat difficult. All are the same shapes. So it is difficult to classify. Because of that, we are using the complex neural network. One input layer, hidden layer 1, hidden layer 2, and output layer. So somewhat difficult. If you use 2 hidden layers, the computations will be very large and the computing speed will come down, and more memory, because weight vector here, weight vector 1, weight vector 2, weight vector 3. So it will occupy more space in the memory. So these are the drawbacks. Even though we saw 1 or 2 images, so because with 3 images, color image, grayscale image, and the bar graph, if we classify the outputs, it is a 45% accuracy only it is giving. Instead of that, the fruits are 1 or 2 the different angles. The images are taken in different angles. It is taken, and 1 or 2 features are extracted from that different angles. And 1 or 2 features taken, and these are trained using neural network. You can see the outputs are this is the trained one with 1 or 2 features. The fruits are trained to classify, and finally these are the neurons dimensions used in the architecture. We can see accuracy is only 45% of the 3 images, Accuracy is 80% with one or two images, because in the one or two images case, with different angles, the images are taken and the features are extracted from all the images. So here somewhat it is better, even though one or two images are taken, our accuracy is only 80%. Accuracy 80% means sometimes if we fed the apple, it may say it is orange. It cannot classify correctly. It may or may not classify correctly. So this is the drawback with the shallow neural network, because the image is not converted into numbers correctly. Here you can see one or two images, some that we are extracting the features. Even though we are extracting features from one or two images, accuracy is only 80%. So the main problem is converting the image into numbers, because numbers only we are feeding into neural network. So the features, correct features we have to extract. Features should be correct. So that is the drawback with the shallow neural network. This is the existing neural network. So we need to learn deeply. That is called a deep neural network. Somewhat a deep neural network is needed here. Features should be in depth. Images should be converted into numbers correctly. Then only when we when we feed the correct inputs, output will be correct. So the problem is only the image conversion into numbers in the shallow neural network. Shallow neural network is the existing neural network. So somewhat deep learning is required to extract the features from the input original image. So this is a drawback with the present ANN. So for that purpose only we are going for deep learning. This is a recent trends in the neural network. Nowadays, this is for many of the applications only deep learning neural networks are being used. So in the we can see the performance, the same amount of data is given for both older neural networks, that is shallow neural networks, and the deep learning neural networks. For the same amount of data, here performance is less in the older neural network. But in the deep neural network, the performance is high. Because of that only, nowadays, for all the applications, the deep learning neural networks are being used. So in the deep learning, why we are deep learning? Because the data availability is more, and the computational power, because we have the now the system with the high computational power available, and algorithm is also updated frequently, and because it is a deep learning, the marketing will also be good. So because of these advantages, we are going for the deep learning. So when we see the deep learning concept, so we can see the deep learning concept with one simple layman example. So here I told you, from the image to features extraction is difficult in the shallow neural network. The image should be correctly converted into numbers. So that number should be exact representation of the input image. That is only the drawback with the shallow neural network. So here the conversion from the image to numbers are exact here. How it is being done here? Here we have two. Before going to the example, this is the architecture of the deep learning neural network. In the architecture, we can see there are low-level feature extraction layer, and that is convolution. We can have convolution. This portion is called as convolution network, and this is the neural network, fully interconnected neural network. In the shallow neural network, we will have only this portion. Here, extra portion here is during the online, this is done. But in the shallow neural network, we are extracting the features and we are measuring in manually the features. But here, the features are extracted in online. So here we have online convolution net and the fully interconnected neural net. So this is the job doing the image to number conversion. That is more important. Here the output of the convolution net is that the numbers is exact representation of the original image. That is the drawback with the shallow network. So we will go to the example, a layman example only I have taken, so that you can understand easily. So here the input is this a cat or dog? We have a puppy or kitten here. We need to identify. We have to recognize. So this is present in the input side. For that purpose, the image of this animal is taken. That image is given to the convolution net. This original image from the animal is given to the convolution net. The convolution net consists of 4 layers here. So in the first layer, the dots, points, small circles are extracted. So here the lower level features are extracted from the input image. Then medium level features are extracted in the next layer. Then high level features are extracted in the next layer. So in the fourth layer, all the features are summed up. I am telling here the first layer in the image, lines, dots, small circles are extracted. So these are given to the second layer. In the second layer, some lines may be joined to form a triangle or square, and then some circle may form the eyes of the kitten or puppy present here, and these are given to the third layer. The circle may form ears and mouth or eyes. So these are now given to the third layer. In the third layer, these features are given as the input. Then this may further identify the bigger circle, that is head, body. So in this way, the small level features to high level features, one by one, the convolution layers are doing the operation. Finally, all the features are summed up, able to identify the correct image, exact image. I am telling lines, dots, circles here, small circles. Here, triangles, squares, mouth, ears here, and here head, body here. All are summed up here. So you don't think it is like this. It will be in numbers. It will be operated only in numbers. For understanding purpose, I am telling it like this. All will be in numbers only. Finally, we will get only in terms of numbers. These numbers will be exact representation of the input image. That is the problem in the shallow neural network. So in this way, the convolution net is doing the in the image process. That is, image is correctly processed, and finally it is converted into numbers, and then it is given to be fully connected in neural network. Similarly, so you can see the different layers of operation. The first layer recognizes lines, points, and the circles in the image. Second layer determines triangles, squares. So to understand where are the ears of the kitten or puppy. And the third one is head in the image, head and body. Fourth one, summing up all the. So once these are over, so the training was success. So the output of the convolution net, the number, flattened numbers, it will be exact input image representation. We can say the features all are extracted correctly in the convolution net. So in the second example here, we can see the faces. So in the first layer, in the faces, the lines, curves, and the small circles are extracted. And the second layer, using curves and lines, some of the portion of the faces are extracted. So in the third one, full faces are extracted. So now the faces are, here I am telling only curves, lines, faces. But in the convolution net, the output will be in terms of numbers. So finally, we will get only in terms of numbers only. Numbers will be exact feature extraction of the input image. Then next it will be given to the neural network, fully connected in the neural network. You can see the original image. This is the convolution net I explained in the two examples. The convolution net output is given to the fully interconnected neural network. Then it is trained. Then the output will be correct matching of the input. In this way, if we take the image is converted into numbers, correct numbers, and then it is given, trained, so we can get input output mapping will be correct. So this is deep learning. Deep learning means all the features are in-depth learned. All the features from the input image are in-depth learned in the convolution net, and then it is trained. So it is called as deep learning. This is a recent trend in the artificial neural network. Here accuracy we can get correctly, it can classify the input image given. Next we see some of the applications using the deep learning artificial neural network. So here it is the first the use application is Google search. Google search we do frequently, we do without a Google search we cannot do anything. So in the Google search nowadays the deep learning algorithm is introduced in the Google search. By using Google AI-based Google search, AI-based algorithm is incorporated, so that when AI-based Google search is algorithm is incorporated, it is storing the user's location and how many times users is searching for the content and what are the contents they are searching. It is able to store all the history, all those history, and then if the user type only one word, the AI-based Google search is able to give the full sentence, and also it is able to give the high quality content at the top during the search, and one by one gradually low quality content comes. Like that nowadays only the Google search AI-based Google search algorithm is nowadays being used. And the second one is AI glass for blind person. Here, this already Google Glass available, all know. And here, AI-based Google Glass is there. AI-based is here, it has inbuilt cameras, infrared laser beam. There is normal video camera, infrared camera, all those are inbuilt. Uh, inbuilt. So, whenever a blind person is wearing this AI-based Google Glass, around that the person is able to know what is going on around. That is around who are the faces around the blind person, and what are the talks going on around, and what are the posters, pictures, everything, shops, everything. It will be sensed by the Google Glass and it will be read aloud. Read aloud so that the blind person will be knowing all the things what is going on around him or her. The blind person will be knowing. So nowadays it is available. AI glass. And next one, Google Eye Doctor. We know that now in India there are many, the diabetic percentage is around 70%, and many are affected by diabetes. And the main affect the portion is the eyes. There is a retinopathy disease coming, retinal disease coming due to diabetes. So the retinopathy disease is not detected. Finally, it leads to blindness. So in this case, the retina is retina should be finely processed, that image. I told you, the deep learning, the image is accurately processed. So here, the retina is, image of the retina is accurately processed by the AI-based algorithm, and we can take treatment clearly and we can avoid blindness. In this Google, in this way, Google AI is being used here. Deep learning AI is used. So in the finance sector, we know all departments, all sectors are computerized. So in the finance sector, what is there is optimum process in the finance, and the optimum whenever risk comes, it is alarmed if you use computer. So everything, all the whatever things are going on manually, all are computerized. And this AI-based algorithm, deep learning algorithm, is used for alarming the risk in the finance sector. Or other advantages also you can use. So in the healthcare, we know that if any and because the image processing only done accurately in the deep learning. So CT scan, X-ray, X-ray, then any abnormalities present, everything from the image it is accurately processed. From the image it is analyzed, sensed, abnormalities present in those will be sensed, and it will be told to the patient. So prior treatment can be taken to speedy recovery, for the speedy recovery. In this way, and any body abnormalities in the body fluid, tissues, everything will be known, so that treatment can be done in advance to avoid the further spread. So in this way, for the healthcare, deep learning techniques are being used. And next, then the deep learning techniques is used for sequence learning. This is important. This is also a recent trend. Sequence modeling with the deep learning concept. So the ability to predict what comes next in a sequence, that is important. So for prediction purpose, the sequence modeling, deep learning concepts are being used. For example, we can say here for speech recognition. Here the input is an audio clip, and there is a sequence modeling is producing the text transcript. So if the audio is very fast, audio clip is very fast, one cannot understand that time. So in after that they can once it is converted into text, they can be it may be used after that. So it can be typed and it can be used for that purpose. Speech recognition, AI based technique is used here for converting the audio into text. And next one, sentiment classification. So for expressing the sentiment, for example, the product customer can give the feedback rating in this session. Product customer feedback, everything can be given in terms of star rating. Like that, for this purpose also, yeah, the deep learning technique can be used. The algorithm can be used for the feedback. And next one, machine translation. The language processing. One language to another language processing can be done using deep learning algorithm. And then video activity recognition. What are this is the video sequence of videos. This is a finding what is activity going on in the video. This finding. And the name entity recognition. So at the end of the sentence, which are the names? So this is used for news and publishing sections can use this name entity recognition to find the names, places, organization, everything can be used in the article. And for further categorization of article and for smooth content delivery, further it can be used. So in this and deep learning AI is used. So these are so in the AI, under AI only machine learning comes. In the machine learning only we have discussed ANN because computer is made a learn with the ANN techniques. And under ANN we have discussed about deep learning also. So these are subset of AI. AI is the first major part component. Under this, the machine learning and the deep learning are coming. This. So I have given only very simple basic idea about ANN and what are the drawbacks with ANN and why we are going for deep neural network and applications using neural network, the various it is being used. I have discussed. I did not go into detail technically because I know because the participants are mixed one, so I felt that may not be understandable like that I felt. So because of that only I touched upon the only overview. Only I touched. For my PhD work and all, I have used neural network for my application. I have used the conical tank. So in the conical tank, I have controlled the level in the conical tank. It is of a variable area cross section. So the process parameters are variable. So in that I have used artificial neural network for my work, for controlling level, for as adaptive control, optimal control techniques I have introduced. If those and all I did not bring here because it will be fully technical. So I took only the layman examples only I took for easy understanding. So I think somewhat I have touched you for there is learning about ANN. I think what is ANN, how it is used, and what are the shallow neural networks, and what are the deep, why we are going for deep neural networks. I think you have understood the concept. Only I have given the concept. If you want in depth, you want anything, I can. I will give my contact and the mail ID. You can contact me because I have done many BE projects and the PG projects using neural networks. Deep neural networks only now only I am learning, but shallow neural networks I have done many projects in shallow neural networks. So you can contact me at any time for neural network application projects.
Thank you so much, Dr. Bhuneshwari. Can you just stop sharing your screen so that we can see?
Okay, definitely.
So that was a wonderful presentation. You have explained it in such a way that you're teaching to your small kid. You had a lot of patience explaining each and every concept, and even my memory has gone back because my PhD work, I did it in ANN for my cancer detection using biosensors. So those days we were not aware of artificial intelligence, but we were working on the concept, which now recently people call it as an artificial intelligence.
Yes.
So I'm really deeply touched with your presentation, the way of delivery, soft and in a very methodical manner, and your PPT pictures were really eye-catching and very clear. Even the dog and cat classification, that was wonderful. We could really enjoy the step-by-step process which you have animated. And really hats off to you for the down-to-earth attitude of yours. You, as your one of your colleague or student has messaged that she has so much of credits to her, but still she's such a down-to-earth person. She's very simple. As we all know you as a very most simplest person right from our college days. It's nice to see, even after reaching the position of a principal of an engineering college, I know because I have experienced the admin role there. And really wonderful to have your students and your colleagues admire you for your simplicity.
The basic character will not change, wherever we are.
There you are.
Yes,
So that's really reflecting, and we can also expect some questions from the audience.
Definitely.
Somebody has asked, one Ms. Hemalata, how the threshold value is selected in the ANN.
And in the biological neural network, the threshold value is fixed. But in the artificial neural network, depending upon our application, we can select the threshold function or activation function or sigmoidal function. There are many functions depending upon our application we can use. The threshold function, based on the application, we can decide the level.
Okay. And one more question. Convolution pooling layer or only based on weights? Let me see the question.
I did not go in detail into convolution net operation.
Yeah.
That pooling operation is being done. In the convolution net, pooling operation is done.
Okay.
The question may be from that, I think.
One Mr. Sudhir has asked, for operating the AI-based applications in healthcare, is it necessary to learn the neural networking or other stuff related to that?
Yeah, because deep learning is available, it is easy to accurately process the image.
But he is a doctor, actually, Dr. Sudhir. Maybe for the person who is doing a research to develop something, they need to have a neural network.
Definitely, deep learning he may use.
Yeah.
So accurately doing the image processing.
So everybody has appreciated you with their feedback, saying
if there are no questions, whether they understood or not, they maybe in two categories. Understood or not understood, I don't know.
Somebody has mentioned he is a non-technical person but could understand the concepts. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Very good.
That is wonderful, Mr. Francis. Thank you so much for such a wonderful compliment. Can it be applied to automotive areas? Some Orbit EduTech, they have asked.
Oh.
Can it be applied to automotive areas?
Automation, whenever we apply input and output, automatically the mapping is done by inputs and output. Input-output mapping is being done. So it is possible.
Yeah, irrespective of the application, because it takes every input as a number.
Yes.
So you don't have to worry about the application. You just have to worry about the concept, what weight you are going to add, how you are going to design, what technique you are going to use, whether it is a normal ANN. I mean, you're going in detail about so many layers. So depending upon the perfection you need, like you can go for deep learning, whether you want that particular. I did a deep learning because I was doing for disease detection, cancer detection.
Oh, okay.
So we needed for prostate cancer and ovarian cancer. So there are a lot of cells which were interfering, giving a wrong result. So we have to go for deep learning to specifically identify that particular cancer cell. I had that difficulty when we were just taking an overall single layer and all. We had to go in deep. So depending upon the application and the accuracy you want.
Yes, yes.
When you go for a medical application, definitely you have to go for deep learning.
Deep learning,
because the application is so sensitive that it will affect the human. So if it is an automotive type of thing, like a machine, so that is different compared to the application.
There is no risk involved in the machine. Yes.
This is a factor where you have to decide.
Correct. You are correct.
Yes. And we also have our classmates online, and you can also talk to her turning on your mic. Dr. Alamelu Mangai is online. Mr. Arunmari Balasubramaniam, can you please turn on your mic and speak to her with your video?
Good morning or good evening, Bhuneshwari. Sorry, I just joined. I had something else going on. Sorry about it.
Oh, okay,
how are you?
Okay. How are you? I'm fine, sir. Fine. How are you?
Very good.
Where are you?
I am in Atlanta.
Oh, okay.
Can you hear me? Can you see me?
Yes, we can hear you. We can see you.
Yes. I'm audible. Yes.
So don't
Hello,
worry.
sorry, I missed the major part of it.
No problem. It is there for YouTube.
When you joined?
He just joined.
Oh,
Just joined.
Okay.
No problem.
Only basics I given, so no problem.
I would also request Deepa, Radha, Alamelu, Paripula, all of you to just turn on the video so that Bhuneshwari will feel very happy. Yeah, Alamelu is there.
Alamelu.
Parimala.
Alamelu, turn on mic.
Yeah, turn on your mic. Turn on your mic, Alamelu. Parimala, please turn on your video.
Parimala, I could not see. Yes. Parimala, video not coming.
Yeah, Parimala, please turn on your video.
You're putting us all on the spot.
Yes,
they were all hiding.
This is the moment. Bhuneshwari has done a wonderful session. She'll feel very happy. Prabha is there. Tomorrow's speaker, Radha is there. Dr. Radha is there. Please turn on your video. Yes. Nobody else is turning on the video.
Alamelu Mangai, how was the presentation of mine? Alamelu?
Her mute. I mean, the mic is in mute, I think.
Oh. Alamelu?
Some problem with her mic. It was really wonderful, Bhuneshwari. It was very simple. And as they said, like people even who are not there in this field could understand. Because artificial intelligence is wide topic spoken by everybody. So everybody needs to know how it works and what is the design philosophy behind it. So you have made it very simple.
Yeah, Bona, can you hear me now?
Yes, I am.
Yes. Yeah. Presentation is very systematic, super presentation.
Thank you.
Examples you have presented are very nice and unique.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Examples are very simple and very unique.
Technically, I did not go into depth.
Okay, this is enough because within this 1 hour time we cannot go into deep, no?
I thought the participants are mixed participants. So I did like this.
That is also true. What you are saying is also true. The overview you have given is exactly right.
Okay, thank you.
So thank you.
Waiting for your session.
It is late, you made it.
Usha?
Arunmari just made it.
Oh, okay.
Anybody else? Prabha, Radha, Alamelu Mangai, Parimala, can you please turn on your video, please?
Alamelu, waiting for your session.
Yes.
Sure. I'll do to my level best.
See, you are all are in the technically because you are now I am
She's the
shifted
professor in
totally to admin line, but you are
Oh,
now always attached with the subjects. No,
yeah, always
so
we are teaching,
I'm
teaching,
not updated
teaching.
with things. Updated.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, again, the problem is time limitation. So we have to plan a lot for this time. So I'll try to do my level. So you wait and see.
So definitely waiting. Yes, having these
What
many
she
years
is.
of experience, surely you will do well.
Thank you so much, Dr. Bhuneshwari.
Thank you, Usha.
Thank you for all the participants. We are running short of time, and we'll all meet on tomorrow's session on Dr. Radha from Anna University. So thank you so much.
Madam,
Thank
please
you.
share the PPT, madam.
Sir,
Yes, yes,
video
yes.
is sufficient, I think. No, video has the entire presentation.
If possible, you will send the PPT also.
Oh, okay, okay. We will. I'll just talk to her. If she is willing to share, I'll share it. Thank you so much. I'm just ending the session. Thank you.
Okay, okay. Thank you, Usha.